It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Manny the Martyr. And now, on with the show!
Hey there, everybody. It's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey, gang.
Les Webster.
Hello, all.
And Liz Newman.
Hello, everybody.
How are y'all doing?
Oh, Bacavy.
Getting through it.
Just groovy.
Hope everybody out there is doing okay. What's been going on in your corner of the galaxy?
Well, I'm going to live up to my word and say I don't have anything to say. I did the exact same thing this week I did last week. Watched too many damn Christmas movies and Superman. That's it.
Superman, huh?
Yep, I don't know why they keep playing that during Christmas movies, but
Hopefully
yeah.
a break from the damn Christmas movies.
Yeah, maybe so, because I don't even recall a Christmas scene anywhere in the movie, you know?
There isn't one.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the very first one, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it was TNT did a DC marathon this weekend, and another channel was doing like the Marvel marathon.
Oh, yeah. It's that time of year where they're doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I thought I had seen Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. I enjoyed the first 30 minutes of it.
Wow.
And then, yeah, then Amber Heard came on the screen. It was like, that's why I've never seen this. I tried to put differences aside. I don't like her, and she's not a good actress. So I changed the channel and went back to Christmas Vacation. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if the second one is going to be any better, but it just they started off action packed, and then it just gets boring, and I just didn't want to wait around to see if it was going to pick up again. So I should have liked it. Jason Momoa, I should have liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I don't have a lot of experience with him, but I don't. How good an actor is he?
He's pretty good. My mind just went blank in the other stuff he's done.
He did that Conan reboot a while back, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was the reason why it was bad, but let me see. He was also in one of the Stargates, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones.
Right.
And then there was like a Western one called Frontier. So most of the stuff I've seen him in was TV before movies. And then, of course, he married Lisa Bonet. We were talking about the Huxtables. He married Denise. So that kind of made him stick out a little bit more for me, too.
Yeah, he was in Stargate Atlantis as Ronan Dex, 73 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did Baywatch Hawaii. So.
None of this answers my original question, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, the TV
These
shows
are all. These
that
are,
I watched him in, he was really good.
I was gonna say, all of these shows sound like shows that he could literally just be the beefcake in the back, and nobody would complain. You know, So
Well, he did that, Conan the Barbarian.
Okay, so
I
he's
don't
the
know.
beefcake in the front. I mean, I don't know. I may have watched that, to be honest, and I don't remember. Apparently it was forgettable. I don't know.
It's pretty much in the same boat.
I'm not actually complaining or knocking the guy. I just literally
Right.
don't know how good he is. I've never really gone out of my way to watch him.
Most of the things I've seen him in, he's a very serious kind of actor. I don't know if he could do comedy. Maybe like sarcastic comedy.
He'd be the guy who was cracking up all the time on set, probably.
Yeah, probably so.
Just 'cause
Because,
he couldn't hold a straight face.
you know, everybody's like, he's a big old teddy bear. And it's like, yeah, I can see that. He's, you know. They were working on Aquaman 2, and there was something going on. They wanted some land protected that some developers were coming in, and he like halted production and everything and was like, no, you know, I'm not going to do this if they're going to do that. And they pretty much stopped. So when he sees where he can make a difference, he does. And that to me is always going to be a good guy,
Right,
you know?
that's good.
So, but yeah, like I said, I haven't seen a whole lot of what he's done outside of DC. But like I said, I thought I had seen Aquaman, and then when it came on, it was like, I guess I hadn't. I probably just saw that clip of him coming up out of the water 1,000 times, you know, but not the movie. Enough times to be a movie, but it wasn't the movie.
Can you just slow-mo that part and call it a movie? I mean...
They do. They have that on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure.
There you go.
It's just looped, you know.
Just watch that for an hour and a half and say you've watched Aquaman.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's amazing what is on YouTube. I mean, there's like a 5-hour video of the Darth Vader pyre.
Yeah.
So it's instead of watching the flaming log, you're seeing
That's
Vader
better.
on
Yeah,
fire.
that's better than the Yule log. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's like 5 hours. So it's like that was literally less than a minute on screen. So that's a lot. That's
a lot of looping.
Yeah. There's a song that Baby listens to called the Bing Bong Song. And they have that on YouTube looped for like 10 hours, I think it is. We haven't made it through the whole 10 yet.
Right.
What about Baby Shark?
They have that one too.
I'm not surprised.
But now that Baby Shark has been around a while, there's different versions of it. And so you can watch an hour-long Baby Shark sung 50 different ways. You know? So,
If you're so inclined.
Right. There's other ways they find to torture you.
If you have nothing else to do, yes, you can sit and watch Baby Shark again and again.
And then for Christmas, they put Baby Shark to the tune of Jingle Bells. You know, hey, another 10 hours.
Well, I may as well put on the dogs that yap Jingle Bells.
Right.
They have those too.
I would like that. Yep. Or the Star Wars one. That one was pretty cool. I think that was the dogs. They had the at come across the screen.
Wow.
It was cool. I will have to link it for you guys.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Wow. Well, gosh. Okay. I wasn't prepared to go this quickly, but that's all right. We can do that. No problem. Funny thing is, my initial intent was to say basically the same thing, which is I did the same shit this week that I did last week. But that's boring, so I decided not to do that. I did actually watch one other thing other than the stuff I've already been watching. I found on Tubi, I found a movie called The Magnetic Monster. This is from 1953. And it's got some. I'm not sure really why I picked it, but it had a thing on the little thumbnail for it that basically made it sound like it was good, as opposed to a lot of the other stuff on Tubi. So I was like, I'll watch it for 10 or 15 minutes and see how it goes. And I thought it was pretty good. It's got Richard Carlson in it, who, for people who are fans of 50s movies, will recognize the name. He was in several other things in that time frame. He actually did pretty well for himself in early sci-fi movies, so that was cool. He was in Creature from the Black Lagoon, for example. He was in It Came from Outer Space, and several other things. And there was this movie was actually the first of a kind of a connected trilogy of movies, which I am kind of curious to track down, because it was interesting enough. And it seemed that the whole kind of thrust with this one was to make science fiction seem realistic, as opposed to some of the really wild and crazy shit that was starting to come out already. Because, I mean, even by 53, there was some pretty weird stuff. So this had like a pretty firm foundation in actual like realistic science. They're carrying Geiger counters around all the time because they're looking for something that's radioactive. It's still kind of playing on the whole atomic horror thing, but it does it in a, I don't know, almost a little more respectful way than some of the other stuff. So it worked out pretty cool. But yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, the narration got on my nerves after a little while. It was a little heavy-handed, but it was an interesting story, and it was interesting that they were trying to come up with realistic solutions for the problem. So I thought it worked pretty well. And Carlson's actually not bad. He's not nearly as hammy as some of the other folks in some of those other movies back in that time frame, but I liked it.
Cool.
Neat.
So, Magnetic Monster drew you in?
Yeah, I was very attracted to it, you know.
It had its positives and negatives.
It totally did.
Kill me.
Shoot me now.
He doesn't have to shoot you now.
No, shoot him now. Shoot him.
One of my big fans.
Well, we quoting Looney Tunes, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Would
pronoun
would
trouble.
love to watch. Yeah. Would love to watch that cartoon again, but it's so freaking heavy edited. It's not even funny to watch.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. That one wouldn't be fun. It's like listening to Metallica's song Buck on the radio. They say it once, because you can say it once, but you can't say it twice or you get fined. So it's just instrumental. The couple of, oh, yes. Sorry.
No.
I blame my pills, so.
Alrighty, Les.
Tough one to follow. If you look at Discord, I posted what I was watching yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up 2 horrendous movies because it was Christmas. One was Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. And the second one was Santa Claus versus the Martians.
Now let me ask you a question real quick on the Santa and Ice Cream Bunny. Which story was also what's in there? Was it the Jack and the Beanstalk, or was it what was the other one? Cinderella.
Thumbelina.
Thumbelina. Okay.
It was Thumbelina.
Okay.
And I couldn't tell you why they would post that in there. I know it was made by the park that they filmed at in Florida, but it was so god awful. I kept looking at my watch, going, "This has got to be over soon."
Please let it be over soon.
Oh, please! I was ready to shoot the TV, but I knew that would be too expensive.
Oh, you get a pretty good deal right now.
As I say, yeah. Walmart stock up.
And then of course, the Santa Claus versus the Martians had Pia Zadora. And she's gone on to do things a little more raunchy. So it was okay, but to get that taste out of my mouth, I ended up watching basketball last night just to say, okay, I'm past it now.
Well, I was about to say, to get that taste out of your mouth, you were watching the raunchy PS Store stuff, right?
Sure. But that's about all I had.
Okay. Well, I watched something that was interesting. I came across it by accident, and it's on Tubi as well. It's a documentary entitled Rude Dude, and this is the story of Steve Rude, who was in comics for a very, very long time. He co-created Nexus with Mike Baron back in the 80s. And the story apparently was that the filmmaker who was wanting to do it was just basically wanting to do a story, do a film on him. But at the time that he was filming this, Steve had made it known that he was leaving comics and was going to pursue a career in fine art. He was actually going to try to do art pieces and that kind of stuff. So that's basically the gear of the movie. Of course, it tells about his life and getting into. He's always been into art and all that, but it also addressed the fact that he's bipolar and some of the issues that has caused, not only with his relationship with his wife and family and just some of the other stuff. It was really a really interesting documentary. This was made, I think it was released in 2014, so it's a couple of years old. But I love his work, especially his painted pieces. He's done some stuff for Marvel and DC and all that. So definitely check it out. It's on Tubi. It's really a really good piece.
Cool.
Sounds cool.
That's about it. Other stuff. I've had some other things going on. So, but that was the fun part of the week. So, before we get into this week's fun, was mentioned earlier, we do have a Discord that it's open to anybody who would like to join. Discord is free to sign up. The app is free. We do have an invite on our homepage, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. We post news items. We'll post memes. We'll post videos. Bunch of other stuff. We have some fun stuff going on there. We'll do group activities on there. Matter of fact, we're going to do something here for New Year's Eve. We're going to, see 2022 come in. That'll be cool. So if you're interested, come join the fun. And we do have an announcement to make. We'll do that after the break. So stay tuned for that. All righty. We ready to go then?
Oh, sure.
It's that
Ready,
time.
ready.
It's that time again. We are going to play Weird Things Humans Search. If you're not familiar with this, this is a game that we played the last couple years, and this is based off of queries that have been made to the internet. So it's a really kind of an interesting game. It's kind of crazy, but it's a lot of fun. So how we'll do this, since we're obviously not sitting around the table, is what I'll be doing is I will be reading off one of these queries, and of course there's going to be a blank in there. And the gang will be trying to come up with 3 possible answers. If their first guess matches the number 1 answer, they will get 2 points. If answers 2 and 3 are on the list, they'll get a point each. If they get in, and if they do guess the number 1 answer, but it's not their first answer, they'll still get a point. So the maximum points per round will be 4. Does that make sense? Did I explain that crappy enough?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Glad I explained it crappy. Now, just to do a warm up, because it has been a while since y'all played, we're going to do 1 question, and then we'll start up. We may do 3 games, depends on how tired and annoyed y'all all get with this game. There's 5 rounds per game. If we end in a tie, we'll do a tiebreaker. If that still stays in a tie, we'll decide then what we want to do. Okay?
Cool.
And of course, y'all have 30 seconds to come up with your 3 answers. So does everybody have their pen and pencils, or pen and paper, unless you're Mike and you're using keyboard? Y'all have everything ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay. So let me get this up here real quick. All right, and a stopwatch. Okay. Our test query is, can you marry a blank? Can you marry a blank? And go. Time. Okay. And there is a reason why I picked this particular question. So, we're going to switch it up this year. We're going to do reverse alphabet. So, Mikey goes first.
Okay. Okay, so in order, my 3 answers are cousin, car, statue.
Okay. Liz.
I went with dog, ice cream, and cat. I couldn't think of anything without going, man. Those people would go to prison.
Okay. Les.
I'm going to marry Rocky Road, so okay.
Right? Knit chocolate chip.
I went with dog, gorilla, and cousin.
Okay. It's a little interesting here. Okay, Mike, depending on how we want to handle this, you either have 1 point or no points. Liz got 3 points,
Oh my God.
and Les got 2 or 3. The number 1 answer is dog.
God.
And the reason why I picked this is when we played this last year, during the break, and Mikey cut this out. It's in our Discord as a deleted thing. Les made a suggestion that on the next question we all put down dog.
This
And
was
they
the
all
question,
left me hanging.
No, it was not. This was not the question. No.
but you picked it
'Cause this
because
was-
the answer was dog.
Yeah,
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
they left me
Oh.
hanging. Les, Mike, I still haven't forgotten that.
Well, you can't. It's in the damn Discord. You can listen to it anytime you want.
We just talked about this 2 minutes ago, guys.
Okay. The second answer is dead person.
Ooh.
That's dark.
Third is second cousin. Fourth is cat.
Of course.
Fifth is first cousin. And then we have foreigner in the USA, step sibling, chicken nugget.
Damn it! I had chicken down as one of my answers, and I erased it. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
Horse, and robot.
Can you marry a robot?
Well,
You're just gonna have to
you'll just
Google
have
it and
to
find
search
out
it.
now, aren't you?
Right, yeah.
So, folks, this is what we're in for this evening. Okay, we all ready? We all warmed up and going, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
All righty. Here we go. Round one. This is for real now. This is for real. Where do they keep and go? Time. All righty. Mikey.
Okay. Charlie Manson, the toilet paper, and hiding my sunglasses.
Okay. Liz.
I put the Grey Poupon, the liquor, and the Constitution. I don't know why Grey Poupon popped in my head, but
Who
Okay.
cares? It's good.
Went from condiments to Constitution. Real good.
Considering some of these other answers, I mean, are you really?
right. Someone
Are you
had to have thought that.
Okay, Les.
I was a blank on this one. Where do they keep prisoners? Where do they keep keys to the gold? And where do they keep Dr. Fauci?
Okay. Mike 0. Liz 1. And Les 1.
Please tell me it was the Grey Poupon.
No, but hey,
It works.
it works.
In my head, it was.
Okay, the number one answer is dead bodies. And I'm surprised none of y'all said
Yeah.
that. Air Force One, the Constitution, all the gold, horses, the crown jewels, aliens.
Area 51.
Everybody knows that. You don't have to Google that. Shit.
Duh.
The Stanley Cup, all the seeds, and luggage on the plane.
All the seeds?
All the seeds.
All the seeds. All the airlift seeds.
There's.
They keep them with the dead bodies. Don't you know that,
They
Mike?
keep, no, I know where they keep all the seeds. There's a seed
grow
repository,
better.
like up in the Arctic Circle.
Is there really?
Yeah, there is.
Huh. I did
Gosh,
not
we're
know that.
learning something.
Mhm.
Sorry.
No!
I'm only teaching y'all shit because I'm pissed that Charlie Manson isn't on that list. But anyway.
Oh, I understand, yeah.
Well, he kind of was. Didn't he die? So that would be
Well, now, yeah.
the dead bodies, you know. And Drowning Pool told us where we kept the dead bodies. On the floor.
There you go.
What's
Okay.
the next question?
It's
please?
hard. It's hard to argue with that kind of logic.
Les is asking me to move on, so
He is. We should.
All right, round 2. From what age can babies and go? Time. All right, I'm going to just say right now, if anybody guessed the second answer, I'm going to be freaking impressed. With that said, Mikey, what are your answers?
No pressure. Jeez.
No pressure.
Okay. I got to figure out how I want to organize this. Okay. First answer is eat solid food. See colors. Go to jail.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Okay, Les. Liz, sorry. Oh,
I'm
boy.
still thinking of a baby in jail. Colored outside the line, you know. I have eat, use the potty, and walk.
Okay. Les.
I have talk, crawl, and recognize.
Okay.
People are thinking way too literally.
This could be a little bit up for discussion on with Mike's answers, although I know what Mike's going to say. Just don't give me points. I don't know.
Hell no, I want to lose this game.
Okay, well.
No, I mean, feel free to debate it. I don't care. It's fine.
Okay. All right. The number one answer is C. Although you said C colors.
I was specific, but I mean, just do what you want.
They're like
It's up to you.
puppies, you know.
What do you think, guys?
I'd give it to them.
I do too.
Okay. What were the other two you had, Mike?
Eat solid food and go to jail.
Okay. Eat is on here as well. So you got 2 points.
Cool.
All right. Liz got 1.
What?
And Les got 1.
Know it
So
all.
that puts Mike in the lead.
All right.
Okay. The number one answer is C. The number 2 answer is fight to the death. See, that's why I was so hoping, like, if anybody gets this, I would be impressed. Okay, 3 is fly.
Same time pigs do.
Yeah.
That depends
4 is drink water.
That depends on how fast you build the catapult, though, doesn't it?
That's true. Sleep on their stomach. Eat. Talk. Watch TV. Go swimming. Remember. Weird things humans search for, folks. That's all right. Here we go. Round 3. Is it strange to and go. Time. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one as well. All righty.
I predict 0 points on all the way around on this one.
Right.
Looking at these answers, I think that's a safe bet. Okay. Go ahead, Mikey.
Okay. Throw up blood. Be normal. Lick doorknobs.
Okay.
What was the third one?
Lick doorknobs.
Lick doorknob.
This
You have to ask yourself that?
pre-COVID.
Okay, Liz.
I have smell colors, hear buzzing noises, or marry your second cousin.
All right, now you're just double dipping.
Yeah. All righty, Les.
Okay. Change the clocks. put on snow chains and die.
And Mike, you would be correct.
Good.
Zeros all around.
Yay!
Yay!
Still some interesting responses, though. So that's
Yes. Well, I mean, they make a lot more sense than what's actually on here. So here we go.
cool.
Yeah.
Have no friends. Talk to yourself. Dance so soon. Be sexually attracted to numbers.
2 is awfully curvy.
Mhm.
Yeah, but look at 8.
Yeah.
Go to a bar by yourself. Not have Facebook. Be a virgin at 30. Travel alone. Date an older man. Imagine scenarios.
How many answers are there here? Jesus. Seems like more than normal.
It's is it time to ask stupid questions on the internet on there?
Mm.
Oh, they wouldn't have much of a game set up here if that was the case.
Right.
Very true.
Okay. Round 4. And just a reminder, Mike is leading. Well, it's actually a tie game now. That's right. It's a tie game. Everybody has 2 points. So, sounds like we're going to have a tiebreaker.
We're not done yet.
All right. We'll see what happens with number 4 here. Okay. My brain keeps and go. Time. Okay, Mikey.
Doing math problems, clicking, spinning inside my head.
Okay. Liz.
I have freezing, wandering, and going blank.
Okay, Les.
I'm going with my brain keeps memories, secrets, and thoughts.
Well, let's do some discussing here. Let me go ahead and give you the answers here, and then we'll discuss. Number 1, the number 1 answer. This is what people actually queried. Thinking.
Hey, when I'm trying to go to sleep at night, I can relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hang on to that. Number 2 is repeating. 3 is twitching. 4 is talking to itself. 5 is thinking at night. Me awake. Vibrating. Zoning out. Telling me to eat. Turning off.
How could turning off possibly be a problem?
Mm.
But anyway. Oh, man.
Kind of like when you go to answer these questions and your brain goes, nope. do, do, do.
So I'm thinking 0 points for everybody. Y'all agree with that, or is there a couple of them that y'all want to discuss?
Les, what were yours again?
Memories, secrets, and thoughts.
Okay.
But Liz, didn't you have something like thinking?
I had freezing, wandering, and going blank. So I don't.
Which is
The ADD brain.
which is as Liz an answer as I could possibly imagine. But yeah. So yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I think it's goose eggs all around on this one. I don't think we're even
Yeah.
close.
Okay. All right.
I got close with the clicking, but I didn't quite. I didn't have the right,
It wasn't vibrating.
not at the right angle, right?
Right. All right. And the final round. This should be interesting.
For all the marbles.
Mm-hmm. I keep hearing, and go. Time. Alrighty, Mikey.
Okay, I kind of kept it simple this time, I think. So voices, my neighbor's dog, and sirens.
Okay. Liz?
I have voices, buzzing, and laughing.
Okay. Les?
Okay, we're going to go clean sweep here with voices, music, and my brain.
1 point for everybody.
Voices is
Everybody
it,
said
but not
voices.
number one.
That's right.
Damn.
It's actually number 2.
What?
Number 1 answer is footsteps.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Third one is the same song everywhere. Fourth is ringing in my ears. Then there's followed by noises, a piano, bells, my phone ringing, my dead cat,
Oh, I was so close.
crows.
Crows.
Crows. Well,
Hmm.
that's not random at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
Can
Alrighty.
I plead for the song in my head?
Y'all want to give it to him?
Sure, anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
You
said
wanna do
music, but
It is.
I don't want a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
And
that's.
And you'd have a song in your head if you heard it everywhere. Right?
All right.
and
Okay.
you'd
That's
hear it
fine.
everywhere if you had a song in your head.
All right. So Les wins that game.
Yay.
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 The infamous yay.
Yay. Okay. Are you ready for game 2? Here we go. Round 1. No, I'm going to end with that one. Okay. All right. Here we go with this one. All right. What would happen if the world... Go. And time. Alrighty, Mikey.
Blew up. Stopped spinning. Got together and sang.
thank you, Coca-Cola.
I was thinking Coke too.
Okay,
Coke and a
Liz.
smile. I have was flat, stopped turning, got hit by a meteor.
Okay. Les.
I too said stop spinning. Was without war and hit by a meteor.
2 points all around.
Yay.
Yay.
The number 1 answer is stop spinning. Number 2 was flat. 3 is went vegan.
Oh, God.
4 is lost oxygen for 5 seconds. That's kind of oddly specific.
Uh-huh.
It is.
Stay there, stay still.
Ran out of oil. Lost power. Exploded. Ran out of water. Turned upside down. Spun faster.
Hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
There was no singing, huh?
No singing.
Damn.
Sorry.
No singing, no cokes.
Mm.
Dang it.
No peace in our time. Nope.
No.
Dang it.
All right. Round 2. What kind of underwear do What? And go. And time. Okay, there's some interesting answers here. And I'm sure y'all have some as well. Okay, Mikey.
Oh, God. I don't like my answers. I haven't heard anything else, and I don't like my answers. Okay. Dogs wear. I need for cross-dressing. I need for work.
Okay. Liz?
I have do superheroes wear, do athletes wear, and Victoria's Secret sell.
Okay, Les?
Wow. I'm going to go out on a limb here, no pun intended. What kind of underwear do monkeys wear? Nudists? What do nudists wear? And government officials.
Tidy whities.
Because they're always in a bind.
Uptight.
All right. 1 point for Liz.
Yay.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It was my Superman.
Probably.
No, not
Or
really.
superheroes. No?
No, not that one. Okay. Number 1 answer is you wear. Number 2, clouds wear.
Clown?
Clouds, like in the sky. Cumulus.
Holy crap.
Yes.
The kind
People
that leak
actually
every once
ask
in a
that?
while.
Yes.
Not when they're not stoned. No, they don't ask
Right.
Or should
3.
you say depends?
that. Oh, Lord.
Okay. The next one is guys like, followed up by gay guys like. You wear under leggings. Marines wear. You wear in jail. This is one I gave Liz. Basketball players wear. Because basketball players are
You
athletes.
said athletes, yep.
You wear to the gym. And the final answer is the Amish wear.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say
Again
that.
already?
Oh, yes. Say that. Was it prisoners? Is that what you asked?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say they've got something with a lock on it.
Hopefully. A little soap holder in front.
Yeah, I've seen Barney Miller. I know these things.
I watched Oz.
Those are two totally different outcomes in those shows. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right. Round 3.
Oh, goody.
Yes.
There's more.
Yes. There's more. But wait, there's more.
Be the first on your block.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much would you pay?
I'd buy that for $1.
How much would you pay for me to stop this? Hey.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
All right. Can a potato go? And time. All right, Mike, what you got?
French fry itself. Be grilled. Be my best friend.
That was my number one answer.
Let me tell you about my best friend. Okay, Liz.
Leanne says yes. I have be your best friend, grow eyes, or make a plant.
Okay. Les.
I said power a clock. Well, I'm trying to read this. Become hairy and see. Because I have all those eyes.
Right. So close, Les, but zeros all around.
Yay! What?
Number one answer is charge a phone.
A phone. Dang it.
The modern potato
The modern version
clock.
of a potato clock.
Yeah. Kill you. Go bad. Produce electricity. Cure a cold. Silence a gun. Explode in the microwave. Make you fat. Be eaten raw. Detox your body. All right, so after that round, Liz is leading 3-2.
Yay.
Les and Mikey have 2. So, round 4. Okay. My house is, and go. And time. Okay, Mikey.
Alrighty then. Eco-friendly. Made of straw. My castle.
Okay.
3 good choices.
Mm-hmm. Liz?
I have haunted, leaking, and leaning.
3
right.
kind of negative choices.
Mm-hmm. Les?
I, too, had... I'll look it again. I don't have my glasses on. Haunted, new, in disrepair.
All righty. Les and Liz both guessed the number one answer. Haunted.
Yay.
So that's 2 points each. Number 2 is a mess. 3 is your house. 4 is cold. 5 is so dry. Next is making me sick. On fire.
So I'm going to Google it instead of calling
Yes.
911.
Yes, exactly. Next is really dusty. giving me headaches, unsellable. But if it's on fire, then yes, it will be unsellable.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. It can be more than one of these things at a time. Sure.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. After that round, it's Liz with 5, Les with 4, and Mike with 2.
Because I didn't get shit in that one.
All
Don't
right.
feel bad.
I don't, believe me.
Final round. This will be interesting. Is it wrong to...
Oh, dear God.
Is it wrong to... And go. And time. All righty, Mikey. What do you have?
I love the sigh if you ask me on this one. Okay. Kill an asshole. Covet my neighbor's wife. Eat pork.
Okay. Liz?
I have trip a blind person. Still in church for lick books.
What was it? What was it again? Was trip a blind man and then what?
Still in church and lick books.
Okay.
What about licking books in church?
Mm. Okay, Les.
Check for the doorknob, too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why it popped in there.
Mm.
It was the doorknob's fault.
I have lust, marry your cousin, and drive the wrong way on a one-way street.
Man, you write fast.
Mm.
I didn't even want to spell out neighbor when I typed this in.
We may discuss one, but we'll see after we get through with all the answers.
God, I hope it's not one of mine.
I can tell you with authority, it's not.
But we'll give it to you anyway.
No.
The number one answer is sleep with your sister.
Wow. We have been locked up as a country way too long.
Well, the thing is, this game came out like 4 or 5 years ago. So I mean, it's before pandemic. So
Oh, God.
that makes it even worse.
Kind of does.
Yeah. 2 is question God. 3 is be white. 4 is eat meat.
Oh, I was so close.
5 is sleep with your cousin.
I'd give it to him. No.
Why do you do this to
Give
me?
him the answer, not the cousin.
Celebrate Christmas.
Oh.
Be strong. Yell at your child. Wants to be alone. Mike goes, hell no.
Of course not. It's perfectly fine.
Talk to a married man.
Now that's a problem. Yeah, totally.
So we are giving that to Les then, the cousin?
Yeah. We'll
Sure.
give him the cousin.
You can have the cousin, no problem.
So that means we have a tie game.
Oh, shit. No, never mind. I changed my mind.
Take that away.
So let me pick a tiebreaker. Oh, and I just pulled one right there. That's going to be perfect. All right.
Wait, so the tie's between them two, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to play unless
I'm
you-
gonna answer just for jollies, but
Okay, yeah,
we're not counting my points for this.
that's right.
Cool.
Well, I mean, you're pretty far back, so I mean, you're going to have to get it right to.
You'd have to guess all the twisted
I'd
answers.
have to get all 4 points out of this.
Yes. And I don't know about this one. We'll see.
Okay.
All right. All right. Do birds and go. Time. All right, Mikey.
Okay. I changed an answer at the last second, which ended up just making it a lot longer, but that's okay. All right. Love their mothers. Get high when they eat marijuana seeds. And
Wow.
and have feelings.
Okay.
Well, if they love their mothers, then they have feelings.
Yeah,
Right?
Fair enough.
they can get high on feelings.
More
Hey,
than a
Mike.
feeling.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry, you hadn't improved.
Okay, good.
Nothing to worry about.
Cool.
Fine.
Hey,
Okay,
while
Liz.
you're dealing with them, I'm gonna go Google the get high when they eat marijuana seeds thing.
There you go.
Let
Sounds
me
good.
know.
Okay, Liz.
I have, do birds like bees, poop in the air, and fly south?
Okay.
I have fly upside down. Remember where they migrate. And remember their siblings. Recognize their siblings.
We still have a tie round. We still have a tie game. 0 points all around.
Damn it.
The number
I want to
one.
recount.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
I'll
okay,
list
it's still
everything out
0.
and we'll see. Yeah. Number one answer is P. 2 is have ears. 3 is have teeth. 4 is fart. 5 is fly at night. 6 is get cold. 7 is sleep. 8 is have tongues. 9 is swear. 10 is hibernate.
I was going to say flip you off, but that didn't sound proper.
So we'll just call that a tie. We won't play another one. We won't play another tiebreaker.
Yay.
I just found out that birds do have teeth.
Yes, a chicken has a tooth when it's first born.
How did you...
It's use it to crack the egg to get out.
Yep, it's called an egg tooth.
That's crazy. These are mainly ducks, though.
Ducks are evil. Oh, no, wait, that's geese. Geese are evil. No, swans.
This
Sorry.
cute little guy, I'll show you guys.
Okay. Third and final game. Yay.
Yay.
It's okay, Mike. It's okay.
I'm good.
All right. Round 1. My friend keeps. And go.
Excuse me, did you say teeth? Teeth?
Do what?
My
No.
friend's teeth?
My friend keeps, as in possession.
Oh, possess. Okay.
My friend keeps, Keeps. Okay. Sorry. I'll start the clock over again. And go. And time. All right, Mike, what does your friend keep doing?
Hitting on me. Rats in a cage. His baby teeth.
Okay. Liz.
I have my secrets annoying me and calling me.
Okay. Les.
My first one is baby teeth, getting on my nerves, and stuffed animals.
Okay. Zeros.
Yeah.
It's almost like y'all are tanking this on purpose. Y'all don't want to actually win this.
What?
I see a pattern here. All right. Copying me, hitting me, as opposed to hitting on you.
Hitting on me, right?
Yeah.
So close.
Touching me, bringing up the past, buying me gifts, staring at me, asking for money, bailing on me, ignoring me, and finally appearing in my dreams. Okay, round two. Let's see. Okay. How do I stop? Go.
Does it stop or go?
And time. Alrighty, Mikey.
All right, let's see if I can do a little better this time.
Mm.
Biting my nails, hitting on my friend, a car.
Okay.
I almost said car.
Well, they started it, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Liz?
I have thinking, saying the wrong thing, and smoking.
Okay. Won't even ask Les for his because we know that he's going to say teeth all three times.
Gonna say what?
Teeth.
No.
Okay,
I'm
you
gonna
say
Dr. No, not Dr. Fauci. I'm gonna say biting my nails, betting, and looking up stuff on the internet.
Zeros all around. All right.
Damn, I thought the smoking one would get me there.
I know too. So did I.
I did too.
Yeah, I know. How do I stop snoring, coughing, Windows from updating?
That one's hitting kind of close to home, huh?
Yeah. Crying, drinking, my period.
What?
You can't.
It's nothing you have to worry about, Les. It's okay.
Is that with a T or a T?
Huh?
I said, was that with a D or a T?
D.
Okay.
Hiccups, my mail, throwing up, night sweats.
Got sick people in this group.
Oh, we do.
We went from weird to sick, so yeah. Okay. Round 3. And let me tally up the points right now. It's
Pretty easy
0,
to
0,
count.
0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty even. Good.
Yeah. Tiebreaker.
It's neck and neck. Yeah. The neck.
No, these weird people would say the toe. The toe.
I was going to say, I don't think we've gotten up to the neck yet on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Has anyone invented and go. And time. Okay, Mikey.
Okay. Flying cars, an electric burrito, the perfect martini.
Okay. Liz?
I have a dog talker, not walker, talker, a hoverboard, or wetless soup.
Or what?
What?
Wetless soup. Soup that's not wet. Like a dry soup.
Okay.
Okay. And real quick, to answer your question, yes, someone has invented a dog talker, but go on.
What?
Hmm.
Now I had to Google a dog talker.
That's it.
Well, Doug had it, remember?
Snowball.
Okay, Les.
I'm going to go with electric spoon, a personal body odor sniffer, and a potato powered clock.
Okay.
We're all about the callbacks on this show.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Mike, Liz, y'all have a point each.
Yay.
Yay. So now we have a new tie. All right, the number one answer is a time machine, Mikey.
I didn't come up with that answer, strangely
Yeah, I
enough.
know. A perpetual motion machine. A flying car.
Yes.
A hoverboard.
Yay.
A jetpack. A teleporter. A lightsaber. A shrink ray. This yet. I kid you not. That's what it says. This yet.
That sounds like one of my smart-ass answers, but okay.
A force field. Alrighty. Let's see. We're down to two. Unless we do. Well, we got a tiebreaker too coming though too. So
Maybe.
which one do I do? Which one do I do? Okay, let's do this one. Can fish go in time? Okay, Mikey.
All right. Hold their breath. Wear glasses. Eat a whole cow.
Mm-hmm.
Piranhas.
Yeah, I think it happened in Piranha 3D.
Yeah.
Okay, Liz.
I have walk, think, or fly.
Flying fish.
Yeah. Les?
I'm going to go with drink, fly, and because they drink, get drunk.
Uh-huh. All right, well, nice try, guys. Nice try. The number one answer is drown.
Rather vicious young lady.
All right.
Well, if they could hold their breath, they wouldn't have to worry about it now, would they?
Right. See water. Feel pain. Hear.
Yeah.
See in the dark. Smell. See color. Swim backward. Sleep. Get high.
All right, I caught hell for get high earlier now.
Birds and fish.
Birds can't get high, but fish
I'm just
can.
hanging out with the wrong people.
Well, it's different for fish than it is for birds. Come on.
The question, next Google question, then where do you put your seeds? Can't throw them in the
Well,
backyard. Can't put them in the water.
Think about it this way, Liz. Water pipe.
Yeah.
Obviously, birds don't have access to this technology, but fish do. So fish have bongs, and birds are just eating seeds up there. Very low down to the ground, of course.
Very low, yeah.
Because they can't get high.
Huh.
I don't know. So 0 points again?
Sounds logical.
0 points again, yes. Yep. Going into the final round, it's still 1-1.
Man.
1-1.
So, all right, here we go. Round 5. Is it possible to die of? Is it possible to die of? And go. And time. Okay, Mikey.
Okay. Weirdly, these feel like strangely straight answers, but whatever. It's what came into my head first.
Sure.
Fright, sadness, happiness.
Okay. Liz?
I have laughing, mold, and being scared.
Okay. Les?
I have boredom, laughter, and a potato.
Callback king.
Mm-hmm. 2 points for everybody.
Yay.
The number 1 answer is a broken heart. 2 is laughter. 3 is boredom. 4 is sadness. Old age. Stress. Fear, which I gave everybody because y'all all mentioned some kind of being fearful. Embarrassment. Exhaustion. The hiccups. So, after 5 rounds, it's Les with 2, Liz and Mike with 3. So we go to a tiebreaker.
Oh, Lord.
And this time I don't got to do it.
Yep, you don't have
You
to
can
unless
opt
you want
out.
to.
Right.
Let me see. Let's see. We gotta make this good.
Better yet, pick your answers from a previous question and see if they fit this question randomly.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
Okay. I gotta choose between 2, so everybody pick a number, 1 or 2.
2.
2.
I'm not playing, so.
Okay.
Nope.
So he picks 2.
So we pick 2. All right. Is it rude to and go? Time. Okay, Mike.
Shout. Fart in public. Point and giggle.
Liz, don't point and giggle.
All right, Liz.
I have slam the door, tell someone to shut up, or walk away from someone talking.
Lord.
All right, let me just answer. Let me give you answers. We'll see. Number 1 answer is point.
Damn it.
Number
It's
2.
what you do after that's not rude.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's just the pointing.
return a gift, stare, say what, talk about money, not respond to a text, block someone, talk on the phone in an Uber, wear red to a wedding, wear white to a funeral. Mikey wins.
Mikey wins.
Yeah,
Yep.
it appears I do.
Yay.
Lucky me.
So we all won one, didn't we?
Well, the second one was a tie, so
well,
kind of.
the second one was a tie, so yeah. Les won the first game. You and Les tied the second one. Unless y'all want to turn around and do another tiebreaker.
Oh,
We can do
no,
that.
no.
I've got
I'm good.
this other card. Well, I got this other card. We'll do this one, okay? Get ready then, so we can have an actual winner. No, I'm not gonna do that.
You want to have an actual winner, total up the points from all 3 games and see what it comes up to.
Well, I could do that.
I think less wins, whatever happens.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Looks like 11 for Les. Well, hang on a second. Let's.
Oh God, we're not creating another tiebreaker, are we? If we are, I'm very sorry for coming up with this idea.
All right, Mike, total points 9. Liz, total points 11. Les, total points 11. Are you happy, Mike?
So we all win.
We all won one.
Uh-huh. Tiebreaker.
It was the friends we made along the way.
So it's tiebreaker time. Let's do one more then.
No.
All right,
Oh,
here we go.
no.
No. No. We are unanimous, aren't we, Liz?
Yeah.
There we go. Good.
Unless it's a dog question.
No dog question.
Oh, let me see if I can find one. All right. Well, I hope y'all out there enjoyed that. You must admit there were some very strange responses there. And I'm not talking about what Mike, Liz, and Liz came up with.
Yes, he is.
That too.
He should be.
Okay. And like I said, this is weird things humans search for. It's out in stores. It's been out for a few years, like I said. So if this kind of got you interested in checking out the game, then please go get it. With that, we're going to take a quick break and come right back. And we're back. Unfortunately, we are short one person. Les was actually playing under the weather, but he needs to go ahead and go to bed and get some rest, which we totally understand and approve. And he will be back with us on our next episode, which is actually going to be not next week. That was part of the announcement. We are taking next week off. For the holidays. So our next episode will be coming out. It's going to be the 9th, January the 9th. So, with that being said, we hope at this point Christmas has already occurred, but hope you had a good Christmas. If you celebrate that, if you didn't, hope you had a good time doing whatever. Happy New Year to you. Hope that 2022 is a awesome year for you as well as for us. I do want to take a moment. I've been taking a lot of moments already, so, but I want to thank some people. Since it's the end of the year, I do want to thank Pitney and Amelia from Pitney and Amelia's Bitchin' Boutique, and Josh and Mark from Victims and Villains, who joined us on our special All the Horror episode. That was a blast.
Was.
We're gonna hopefully get something up again here real soon. Stay tuned for that. Have them back on. But it was awesome to have them on. Hopefully you got a chance to listen to that. Do want to thank David Pepose and Madeline Holly Rosen, who joined us. Madeline joined us twice this year, right?
She did.
Yep.
Always great to have them on, and they seem to love being on with us because they keep coming. They keep contacting us and said, "Hey, I want to be on again. I got this to talk about," and it's always a blast having them. So hopefully we'll have them on again next year. Also want to thank Eddie Medina, good friend of the fellowship, who was on with us again, and hopefully we'll have him on a couple times next year. I know there's one thing I've got planned, especially for him to join us, and I think he'll love it. He's always a great person to have on and talk to and kid around. Great guy. Obviously, I want to thank y'all for downloading, listening to the episodes week in and week out. I know there's been times where we've had them miss, but that's just life. But we do appreciate you hanging on. By the time this drops, we have already passed the 7,000 downloads for this year. That's awesome. That's the best we've ever done, and we owe y'all for that. We do appreciate the support as always. And of course, I need to thank these wonderful people who've taken this journey with me. Liz is the heart of the show. It is.
I think you could argue that maybe she's the mouth of the show, but
well, that's true. That's it too.
And I say that in the nicest possible way.
I know I have a big mouth.
I've never regretted adding her or asking her to join us. It's always been fun. Always keeps me on my toes with either the questions she has or some of her comments she has, and that's great. That's great. Thank you, Liz, so much for being a part of this. I can't imagine how things would be if you weren't with us.
I've had a lot of fun doing it.
Next, Mike.
What? No. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
you did.
You do
a lot. Yep.
He records our episodes. He edits. He gets them out there. He does 99.9% of promoting the podcast. He's been my best friend for forever, and I'm so thankful that he's been a part of this. He always gets me thinking. He always asks a question or makes a comment and go, "Why didn't I see that?" or "Why didn't I think of that?" It's
because your brain's not warped like mine.
He kicks puppies.
Wow.
See what I said about the mouth part? I've never kicked a puppy in my life. Thank you very much.
He hasn't.
But Mike and I just talked about this. We're going on 7 years. We're about to start 6 years.
6, yeah.
Because I think season 7 starts in March.
We've seen
something like that. It's been forever. We talked about, hey, do we want to do this and do this again? And we decided, the hell with it, we're going to do it. And I'm so glad that he's part of this, and I'm thankful to have him as a friend. So thank you, Mike.
Aww.
Aww. That's sweet.
And last, of course, I have all this to say to Les, and he's not here to hear it, and he'll never hear it because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
He doesn't listen to any podcast ever.
Well,
That's all
true.
right.
That's
We
true.
don't hold that against him around here.
That's true. That's okay. It's not a requirement. Les has been a dear friend of mine for I'm not even sure how many years. It's been a long time. It's probably been a dozen years or so. He's always been there by my side. When I first decided, hey, let's do this, there was no question for him. He's just like, okay, he's up to anything I throw out there within reason. He's been a big supporter of this podcast and of the fellowship.
Just to give you an idea, and I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but I'm going to throw this in here. Just to give you an idea of Les's dedication. This is a guy who, if his wife hadn't literally stopped him, would have recorded with us like 2 hours after surgery one time.
That's true.
I am not kidding. This is real. He really did that. He has how many episodes has he recorded from Hawaii on vacation?
At
least 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always here. He's just he's always ready to be here. He's always ready to hang out with us.
Yeah.
How could you ask for any more than that?
We're fortunate to have him with us. He's just an amazing guy. He's fun to be around, and I'm so glad that
and he puts up with us. I mean, come on, what more can you ask?
Well, yeah, that's a valid point. So I know 2021 has not been a great year in some respects, but I'm thankful that we're through this. 2022, it's got to be better in all regards. We'll see, but I just want to let everybody know how much I appreciate them. I couldn't do this on my own. I've done stuff that I never thought I would have done a dozen years ago, and it's because of the people that have been around me that said, let's do this, or I can throw out the dumbest suggestion, and okay, that sounds okay, and it turns out to be all right. So I thank you all. Thank you all very much.
Aww. Yeah, I to that I will add, especially to the 2021 kind of sucking part, recording this show, and I will go out on a limb and speak for all 4 of us. Recording this show has been one of the things that has kind of kept us all going through this year.
Yeah.
And if we can impart any part of that to you guys, the listeners, we've done what we need to do. And we appreciate you hanging out with us and letting us and listening to our silliness and coming back every week.
Yep.
I totally agree with that. I will also say this. I've said this in the past on a previous episode. It's been a long time ago. There are times where it comes to podcast night and I'm not really feeling up to it, and I'm not going to speak for anybody else. If they want to chime in, that's fine. I'm not really feeling up to doing the recording, but damn, by the time we're done, I'm so pumped up. I'm in such a great mood. It takes me forever to unwind, but I'm in such great spirits. It's always great to hang out with y'all and talk and joke around and all that. And like Mike said, we hope that comes across to you, that's the reason why y'all keep coming back, is not necessarily what we're saying, but it's for people who love talking and being with each other. If that's what brings you back, then that's awesome, and that's I think that's the highest compliment I can receive.
Yep.
Yep,
What he said.
for sure.
Because you don't want to repeat that, I understand.
Pretty much. That's it. I wasn't taking notes or nothing, you know.
That's. Oh, did I say something? Oh, okay.
Oh.
So, with that, we're going to move on to our regular shout-outs. Obviously, we want to thank Pop Goes to Culture Podcast Network for allowing us to be a part of a great group of fellow podcasts. We recommend that you check them out. There will be a link in the show notes. We also want you to check out the fine men and women who make up Potter Family on Twitter, who've been so kind as to spread the word of the fellowship by retweeting our episode links. Definitely check them out. The best way to do that is to do a search, hashtag Potter Family as one word. Just scroll through whatever catches your eye. You know, if there's something that's being discussed that goes, oh, I'm interested, please click on that link, download that episode, and hope you have a great time listening to it. Thank you guys for your support as always. Want to thank Manny the Martyr for supplying. I'm getting tired. And I'm starting to slur my speech. That's not good. But we're at the end, so that's okay. Manny the Martyr for supplying the music to our podcast. Definitely want you to check out their music. There is a link in the show notes where you can do so. Thank you, guys. And once again, you, dear listener, thank you for downloading and listening to today's episode. We value your feedback. Any comments, questions, complaints, suggestions, observations, what have you, please send them our way. We love to read them. There are several ways you can reach us. Our email address is email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, or you can go to the website, go to the About Us page, and there's a contact form you can fill out. We talked about the Discord before. We do have a channel there that you can write your feedback or any questions, whatever. We can read them there. Social media, we're on Facebook, The Fellowship of the Geeks. We're obviously on Twitter, @Fellowship Geeks. Follow us there. If you'd like to follow our personal Twitter accounts, Mike can be found @MikeyGeek. Liz can be found @LN_geek. Les may or may not be found @FakeLesWebster. And I can be found @TomTCGeek. And from wherever you download and listen to our podcast, if you'd be so kind as to rate and review our show, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything else before we say goodbye to tonight and 2021?
Just thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next year.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. And on behalf of Les, thank you for listening. Thank you once again. We do appreciate your support. Happy New Year. Happy 2022 to you all. And until next time, geek on, my friends.
We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook @The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter @Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,